Hello Simmers, very happy to see you back on the channel. So today we are going to take a look at the Boom XB1, the brand new plane that came from free with Sim Update 4 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and that is available for free on Xbox PC and PS5. So before we start, I want to give you a little trick. Let's say you want to start on anywhere on the map, but on an airport, and there is no parking spot available. Like you want to start here, for example. You see here you have a parking spot, but not here. And you want to be close to the runway because you don't want to taxi for half an hour. So all you need to do is select the point where you need to go and scroll this menu here. And you can decide if you want to be spawned cold and dark, it means engines off, or if you want to be ready and running. Here you can see the textures taking a bit of time to load, but it's completely normal because it's streamed. And here we are in front of the Boom XB1. Okay, let's discover this plane. The 3D model is very unique. That's the first since a long time civilian airplane that can reach Mach 1. The last one was the Concorde, of course. So here I guess we need to remove all the covers. Yes. And one thing I'm going to discover a bit later in the video actually is that you need to be very close to the stuff you want to remove to be able to remove it, like the chocks. And you can see inside here. Okay, everything is very nicely modeled with great texturing. The 3 engines. So left, right, and center. So there's no ladder, there's nothing. That's a bit of a miss. It's, I would have liked to have a ladder or something, to climb into the XB1. But here we are. That's a pretty incredible and unique shape for an aircraft. Look at the size of the wing, very small ones. Delta wings. That's going to be an interesting flight model for sure. So when you find yourself for the first time in a cockpit like this on a brand new plane that you never tried before, how and you feel that there is too much. There's too much button. You don't know what to do. Maybe it's the first time in Flight Simulator. And well, that's quite simple actually. All you need to do is to grab your tablet here and go to the plane icon, and here you have all the checklist. And you just need to follow it. So I'm going back outside because I think I forgot to remove the pitot covers. Yes, see? We need to be very close to the item we want to remove. So once you have removed, you can check items one by one in the checklist. And you're all good. And now we can go back into the cockpit and follow the checklist. So remove instruments covers. I don't see any cover here. I don't know if it's normal because we selected a custom spawn point. I would need to check that again. But then you need to check if the bleed air is depressed, undepressed. And that's okay. Airflow is off. Air temp is on auto. Auto switch is off. Generator switch is off, and we need to put it on. The avionics need to be turned off. That's all good. Backup hydraulic pump on off. So you just make sure that everything is ready before starting the engine and in the state it should be. Like the landing gear that is down. If you don't know how to display the name and description of all the buttons, it's very easy. You go to flight interface in your settings, flight interface, and you select instrument name tooltip and instrument description tooltip. You can choose to display them or completely remove them. Usually I remove them, but because it is the first time I'm in the XB1, I prefer to have them on and to know where I need to click to actually start this machine. So we are going to go through the checklist, and I'm just going to accelerate this part because you can just follow it by yourself directly in the sim. You don't need me for this. And I will see you back in a second.
A few moments later.
Alright, we are now ready and we taxi the plane to the runway. You can just admire the beautiful shape of this unique aircraft. If you see that the aircraft is kind of buggy, I believe it comes from the scenery I'm using. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like there is something with the ground that is not completely correct. So it does not come from the aircraft, that's for sure. Okay, let's step here and align with the center of the runway. Okay, looks good. So takeoff speed is around 150 knots. And afterburners engaged around 120. Let's go. Oh, can actually take off. I forgot to trim a bit more the plane. That's a smooth takeoff for sure. Look at these long legs. That's crazy. I love how beautifully rendered the afterburners are with the XB1. Even the burners are quite unique. Okay, and now we are going to try to reach Mach 1, sound barrier. So we need to climb a bit to have less dense air, so it will be easier to reach a higher speed. Alright, we are almost at 40,000 feet and almost the sound barrier, Mach 1. Yeah, we just crossed it. And the sonic boom is not here. And that was one of the main goals of the XB1, to be very silent. That's actually quite an impressive feature when you think about it. Alright, all we need to do now is to go back to the base and land. So the weather is definitely making my life not easy at all to land this XB1. And landing gear down, and you can stabilize the plane with quite a high alpha. It means with quite the nose up. That's typical of short delta wings plane. Pretty much like you have probably seen pictures of the Concorde, with the nose very high up. And intuitively I do the same with the XB1. I'm not sure this is the correct way of doing it, but it sounds like that's how it should be. And I can finally see the runway here. We are going to land on the right one. So you need to place your green circle here in the middle of your main screen, on the middle of the runway. And here my approach is not ideal, to say the least. I'm way too much to the left of the runway, and I'm a bit scared to correct the plane because I don't know how it reacts at low speed. 140 knots. Yeah, you see the stall sign, the main screen. So I'm going to add a bit more power because we have a very long runway, fortunately. So let's go a bit further, and okay, now we can land. So 14 degree of alpha, and gently, so the back landing gear first and then the front one, and oh, it stops in no time. I guess that's a bit of a trick, because I see there is a drag chute that is not modeled, and I believe the real one needs to deploy it to be able to stop. I don't know why it was not modeled, but yeah. Well, thanks for joining this first look at the XB1. I hope you will enjoy this aircraft. Definitely very unique and not the easiest to fly, but they made it quite easy, honestly. It feels very easy. If you want to try something a bit in the same style, you can try the Rafale and the F-16. You will have kind of the same feelings. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you soon on the channel. Bye bye, guys.